Welcome to Becoming Bohemian. I am so excited that you're here, that you have made it to my little dot on the YouTube map. And before you leave, stick around. I want to share with you why you want to be here and what it is about becoming Bohemian that is unique and that is special. And hopefully by the end of this video, you will be sure that you want to be a member of our community here. Having said all of that, since this is the first video in a series of many, I think introductions are in order. So my name is Kelly Shaw, and I started Becoming Bohemian because I was feeling a little bit lost, I think, in the world of the internet. You know, I think there's a lot of chatter out there, and I really wanted to go back to my roots. I am an art history and curatorial studies major, back my undergrad. That was my undergraduate degree. And I have throughout my life found art to be very centering and to be kind of the balm for existential angst for me. I find so much beauty and meaning in art, and art is a broad term to me. It can mean literature, it can mean food, it can mean philosophy, it can mean music. So this has become a place for me to explore all of those things, to explore the art world further, to write about how it impacts me. And I really am hoping that you will want to join the journey as well and lend your voice to this community and share how art impacts you, the beauty that you find in the everyday and the beauty that you find in the extraordinary. There's beauty to be found everywhere. So I realize that that is a broad stroke sort of definition of why I started Becoming Bohemian. We haven't really gotten to the what Becoming Bohemian really and truly is. And in order to do things a little bit differently, I think to define what something is, it can be helpful. It can lend color if we look at what it is not. If we look at instead the antonyms. And that's not to say that we're going to be negative here. That's not to say that the opposites don't attract. The opposites aren't there to complement one another. They are. In fact, if you're familiar with the color wheel in art, complementary colors are opposite from each other on the color wheel, but together they go together so well. That's why they're complementary. And so I'm going to start with just a few disclaimers about what Becoming Bohemian is not, so that hopefully you'll be able to get more understanding and clarity around what it truly is. So, disclaimer number 1. This is not a hippie blog. So I think when you first hear the word Bohemian, often I think our brain goes right to peace, love, and Donny Osmond. You know, we're back there in the 70s when we hear Bohemian. And there is a reason for that. You know, hippie culture definitely drew on Bohemian history. The history of Bohemianism goes way back to, you know, the 1700s, and before that even, to the Kingdom of Bohemia. And it evolved since, you know, the 19th century France, when you think of Expressionism and abstract art, all of this grew out of Bohemianism and developed Bohemianism. And then it continued further, and certainly the 70s were a part of that, and the hippie movement was a part of that. But that's not going to be the main focus of this blog or this video channel. So if you are more interested in learning how to make a flower crown, or in the recreational use of marijuana, there are lots of other blogs and outlets for that on the internet, but this is not necessarily going to be that. Then disclaimer number 2, this is not a beauty channel, not in the colloquial sense of the word anyway. And that probably is self-evident. That's not my specialty. There are many of those wonderful beauty blogs out there. There's lots of them, very successful ones, and I think that is great, but that's not exactly the kind of beauty that that this blog is really that interested in, to be frank. And we will be talking about beauty, but we'll be talking about it from more of an artistic standpoint. We will be talking about the way that art and beauty connect, the way that they influence each other, and if beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and what that really looks like in art, and what makes art art, and so we'll be looking at beauty from various angles. Primarily, we'll be looking at beauty from a vulnerable and raw angle. I have to admit, I'm feeling vulnerable now, talking to you on camera. This is not exactly my comfort zone or my safe space, but I feel like it's really important to talk about beauty in its uniqueness, beauty from an individual perspective, because I feel like society is saturated with a very artificial definition of what beauty is and should be. And so this blog is not going to be that. It's not going to subscribe to the very prescribed notion of size 2 airbrushed perfect beauty as society has defined it. We are going to honor and respect beauty in all shapes and sizes and in all forms. And I think that that is what will help Becoming Bohemian differentiate itself from much of what the chatter is on the internet. And this all leads me actually to disclaimer number 3. This is not going to be a personality cult, meaning I am not going to be the only one talking here. I think that's boring. Like I said, I'm kind of uncomfortable in front of the camera. So you will not only be hearing from me. In fact, I really hope that you will contribute your story and your voice and share what is beautiful and meaningful to you. And that means that you, I would love you to submit your videos to me to upload onto this channel. I want this to be a safe community where people feel like they can share with one another whatever is sort of making them tick, share their deepest thoughts and heart talks with this intimate community. And that also leads me to something that Becoming Bohemian is. It's going to be a community, and I realize that YouTube itself is a community. It is a large community. It is a broad community. It's a big community. And you could just upload your material onto YouTube broadly. But I feel like it's so important to reach the individual and to really have deep conversations, and I personally feel that in order to have those, we need to think smaller. I don't envision Becoming Bohemian being huge. I don't envision having millions of followers. I mean, if I did, that would be great, but I just don't see it being that. I feel like if YouTube broadly as the community is Mumbai, Becoming Bohemian is Stars Hollow. That's what I want it to be anyway, and hopefully you picked up on that reference. I want this to feel like an approachable, safe space. I want it to feel like a place where we can really have a conversation. It's not just going to be me talking one way and you potentially commenting here and there in comments below. You will be the star of the show. I want you to be. And so please reach out and let me know if you would like to contribute, if you'd like to share your art, if you would like to share what you find beautiful, if you would like to share the food that you're into, the wine that pairs nicely with it, anything that helps you be present now and enjoying the beauty that surrounds you. That's what Becoming Bohemian is about. One other disclaimer, I think this would be number 4, is this is not a frugal finance blog or vlog. I think there's a great place for those, and I fully support things like minimalism and and being careful with money and getting out of debt. Those are great things. And I think sometimes when people hear the word Bohemian, in addition to thinking about the 70s, they may also think about backpacking through Europe on $15 or something like that. And while this blog is about travel, and we certainly will talk about backpacking through Europe, I don't envision it being a thrift or penny pinching space on the internet. There's lots of those, and I really want to be non-duplicative to the extent that I can. I want this to be a unique place, and so you will find travel, but all types, from camping in Yosemite to taking the Hiram Bingham train to Machu Picchu in Peru. Both ranges, from the very cheap and the natural beauty and wonder and minimalistic sorts of travel, like backpacking and camping, to more luxurious experiences like that Hiram Bingham train or a trip to Larvado Beach in Monaco. So it's really about the experience here. I am not so much about advocating for any particular budget or any particular lifestyle. I just want to encourage people to really live and be present in the moment and share those moments and the beauty with our fellow community members here on Becoming Bohemian on this channel. So with that said, hopefully you have a little bit better of an idea of what you've gotten yourself into with this video, with this community. I want to speak a little bit to the actual logistics of what you can expect here in this channel and on the website. So I post on the blog on becomingbohemian.com every Monday. And I post on varied topics. There's usually an artist of the month. So once a month there's a post specifically about artists. And then I usually will post once a month about philosophy, and then typically once a month about travel. And then also once a month I will post about food and wine. So that is what you can expect from the blog. And then here on the YouTube channel, every Tuesday, I will post about the subject and go more in depth on the subject that has been posted on the blog. So that's what you'll hear from me, but like I said before, I really want to have more people involved and sharing their videos, and so ideally you'll be hearing from many voices who all have things to contribute to all of these varied topics. So that's what you can expect on the day-to-day, but I am thrilled to have you on board. I am so excited about this adventure that we're embarking on together, and I really hope that you will subscribe and ring that bell to get updates on these videos, and that you will contribute. Feel free, please reach out. I really would love to have partners and to collaborate with you, and I envision other things coming down the line. I'm working on a book club, and so please stay tuned for that. I envision having live, either through Facebook Live or here on YouTube, book clubs every month where we discuss work of literature, and I'll bring on various experts that have to do with whatever book or topic that we happen to study. So I really envision this being a wonderful place where we can all learn together, grow together, and really see true beauty in all that surrounds us. So thank you so much for coming with, and I look forward to hearing from you and working with you on this quest to become Bohemian. Thank you.